Ethan was a young man born and raised in a small, quiet town where golden cornfields stretched as far as the eye could see, and dusty roads twisted gently through rows of maple trees. Since childhood, Ethan had dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur. He believed with all his heart that if he worked hard enough, he could achieve anything. After graduating college, Ethan decided to launch his own startup, an app that aimed to connect local sports enthusiasts and help them build active communities. In the beginning, everything seemed promising. He found a passionate group of friends to join him, raised some money from local investors, and started developing the app with high hopes and excitement. But soon enough, the dream started to unravel. The app was buggy, users complained constantly, revenues fell far below expectations. Investors lost patience, team members quit one after another, and Ethan began to feel as if the entire world was turning its back on him. Mornings became especially hard. Ethan would wake up in his tiny apartment, staring at the ceiling, thinking, why am I such a failure? Am I really cut out for this? Little by little, he withdrew from his friends and family. He avoided their calls, stopped replying to messages, and felt too ashamed to show his face. One day, unable to carry the weight any longer, Ethan decided to drive back to his hometown to visit his grandfather, the one person he trusted more than anyone else in the world. His grandfather George was a retired farmer with silver hair, a gentle smile, and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the entire universe. Whenever Ethan faced difficulties growing up, Grandpa George always knew how to comfort him without using many words. When Ethan arrived, his shoulders slumped and his eyes tired. Grandpa George didn't ask any immediate questions. Instead, he simply invited Ethan to sit on the old wooden bench beneath the big oak tree in the backyard, a place that had always felt safe. After a long moment of silence, Ethan finally poured out everything, his fears, his failures, his anger, and his overwhelming sense of hopelessness. Grandpa George listened quietly, nodding now and then. Once Ethan finished, Grandpa leaned back, took a slow breath, and began to tell him a story. Long ago, there was a wise master who took his disciple deep into the forest. The master, even though he was old, moved gracefully, while the young disciple kept slipping and falling again and again. Each time, the disciple stood up, grumbling and cursing, but kept following. Finally, they reached a sacred place. Without pausing, the master turned back and started walking the same rough path they had come from. Frustrated, the disciple shouted, "You haven't taught me anything today." The master calmly replied, "I did teach you, but you didn't understand." The disciple, puzzled, asked, "Then how should I deal with these falls?" The master answered, "Exactly as you should handle every mistake in life. Instead of cursing, you should ask yourself first what made you slip. In life, if we keep repeating the same mistakes again and again, that is madness. When you fall, before you get angry, sad, or blame anyone else, look inside yourself and ask, why did I fall? Then get up, take responsibility for everything that happens to you, understand what went wrong, and try not to make the same mistake again." Grandpa George paused and looked deep into Ethan's eyes. "You see, Ethan, life is like that forest path. We will all fall, sometimes many, many times, but it's not about the falling itself. It's about what we learn after each fall. If all you do is get angry, blame your team, or blame your investors, you'll keep stumbling over the same rocks. But if you stop and understand why you fell, you'll find a way to avoid that same mistake next time." Ethan sat silently. His mind replayed all the moments he had blamed his co-founders, cursed the investors, and wallowed in self-pity. He realized that he had been so focused on external problems that he had never truly examined his own decisions, mindset, and approach. After that day, Ethan stayed with his grandfather for a few more days. Together, they tended the garden, fed the chickens, and cooked simple meals. These small, quiet moments allowed Ethan to reconnect with the patience and humility he had lost in the fast-paced city life. When he finally returned to the city, Ethan was no longer the same defeated young man. He systematically reviewed every part of his business, listened to his users more carefully, admitted where he had gone wrong, and rebuilt his product piece by piece. Slowly, his team reformed around him, people who respected his new openness and resilience. Step by step, Ethan's app improved. Users began returning, investors regained confidence, and within 3 years, Ethan transformed his struggling app into a thriving platform, embraced by sports communities in many cities. He was invited to conferences and even appeared on TV, sharing his story not just as a business lesson, but as a human one. One evening, alone in his small office, Ethan picked up a framed photo of him and Grandpa George sitting under the old oak tree. He smiled, remembering the story of the master and the disciple. He finally understood each fall had been an invitation to learn, not a reason to give up. In today's fast-paced, competitive world, we often measure our worth by external standards, likes, followers, profits, or promotions. When we fail, our first instinct is to blame the economy, our colleagues, or simply bad luck. But true growth begins the moment we stop pointing fingers and start looking inward. Every failure is an opportunity in disguise, a mirror showing us where we need to improve. Like Ethan, when we learn to embrace our stumbles, take responsibility, and ask, "Why did I fall?" we unlock a strength far greater than any external success could give us. In the end, it's not about how many times we fall, but about how many times we rise, a little wiser each time. Life's true value lies in these lessons and in the courage to keep moving forward. I hope you found this story helpful. If you enjoyed today's story, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next story.